Right, and building off of all of this, let's talk about District Judge Boasberg. Now he's blocking, well, he tried to block, we saw, the government from deporting those non-citizen gang members. The White House then came out and said that those deportation flights didn't violate any order because this ruling came after the flights already left U.S. territory. How likely do you think that argument is to hold up?
Yeah, I don't know if the argument of, hey, we were in the air and we had already crossed over into the Gulf of America, Mexico. I don't know how much that's going to hold legal standing. That's for the legal beagles to kind of break down. But the larger point is defying a court order. And I think we should kind of all be a little bit concerned with that. But how it all plays out, we'll see. But one thing I did want to know, and I think your package kind of, before I came on, alluded to it, is there was, I think we mentioned around 300 or so that were transported. But in recent reporting, I think around 100 to 130 of those folks are not alleged to be part of the gang members. And I think that's kind of what's at the core of, in terms of what the judge's order is like, how has the administration been applying who is a criminal? And that's right now, as I've talked to some folks that cover immigration news recently for my show, what is a criminal is something that for some reason is having different meanings across different places, because people that maybe violated their visa status accidentally, which would normally be a civil matter, are now being treated as criminal. And that's not the same as the gang members that you're seeing in this video right here being ushered into an El Salvadorian prison. So there's got to be some differentiation. I think that's what the judge was trying to get at. And I think, again, whether or not it plays out that the airplane was en route and had already crossed over international waters, I've never heard that legal argument, but we're going to see if it holds any weight in court.
So you're saying that there is the judge's argument. Here's a statement from Press Secretary Leavitt. She says, quote, "A single judge in a single city cannot direct the movements of an aircraft full of foreign alien terrorists who were physically expelled from U.S. soil." So legally, who exactly has the final say here?
Should always be the court, Fiona. I can't believe I have to explain that. I hope that's not too opinionated, because that's literally, it's courts. Like, there's three branches of government. There's the legislative, there's the executive, there's the judicial. Each of them has a check on each other. Caroline Leavitt knows better. She knows a lot more than that she's leading on to. Now, look, invoking this Alien Enemies Act, which everybody now probably knows or has at least Googled once in the past week, we'll see if that holds legal standing. The president considers that we are in war right now with respect to what's happening at the U.S. southern border. That's within his right, within the executive branch's right, if he feels that way. The problem is that the judiciary is a check on it, right? We go through the federal courts, then we go through the appellate courts, and then we get to the Supreme Court. This is stuff that's taught in like 10th grade social studies. Like, if you don't know, if folks don't know this stuff, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, the judicial branch has a check on the executive, just like the executive has a check on the legislative, and the legislative has a check on the executive. And then the judiciary can administer how the law is actually applied, or how the legislation is actually applied as it gets all the way to the Supreme Court. That's the way our three branches of government work here in the United States.
Listen, if we even think you owe us money, you won't know what hit you. We'll put liens on everything you own. Raid your bank accounts, retirement fund, pension. You'll open up your paycheck and cry because we'll already have the money.
Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a Tax Doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.